Hi everyone, come on in. Join me as we create a little shipboard sign. This is the surface we're going to create on. I love this. It does have the grooves in it. It is wooden and it's one of my favorite surfaces. We are going to use this Melon Patch transfer. So if you hop on, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. If you don't see the red live button at the top, you're watching the replay. Please comment #replay. If you want to get notified when I go live, type in !notify. And if you want the shopping cart to today's project, type in the word melon, MELON. Check your messenger and it will provide a link to everything I'm using today. Let's get started. Our transfers are reusable silkscreen transfers. Do you see the silkscreen in there? This assures a good, crisp print. So I'm going to remove this transfer from its backer sheet. Make sure you keep the backer sheet because that's how we store it, and it protects it from getting unwanted items on our transfer. Now, right now I've got it placed sticky side up because I want to fuzz this transfer. Fuzzing is designed to reduce the stickiness just a little bit. I know. The benefit of these transfers is that they're sticky, but yet I'm telling you to fuzz it so that we can reduce the stickiness a little bit. Why? Well, there's a couple reasons. One is so that it doesn't stick so tightly that it hurts your transfer or whatever's down below, especially if it's already painted and pulls up that layer underneath when it's pulled up. Another reason is to protect your transfer. If it's got a tight grasp on your surface down below and you pull it off, it could stretch out. And you don't want to do that because you want it to be usable for you so that you can redo it many, many, many times. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick up my transfer. I am going to position it on my board. And this is pretty easy because it's it's a good fit. It fits perfectly. It's just a matter for me to get it straight on here. That's not always one of my strong points. So now one thing to watch out for too is that this board does have those wooden grooves. So those wooden grooves, it means that there's not going to be a real tight grasp in these grooves, and the paste could possibly run in those grooves. I'm hoping to avoid that, but we'll see. So I'm going to smooth out all the air bubbles. Air bubbles makes the paste run. I'm going to go ahead and get started with a little bit of black. So here's my plan. I'm going to move this chair out so that I can sit back a little bit. I'm going to do this top bar and these words down below in black. I'm going to do Melon Patch and Cherry. This in black, probably black. And then I'm going to go ahead and do an imprint of this melon in a dune or a very light color, just so that I can see that it's there, so I can watercolor it in. So let's get started with our black. I'm using black velvet. And your paste should be the consistency of frosting or Cool Whip. Just nice and good. If it's really dry, you can add a little bit of distilled water to it. And you can stir it up and get it back to that consistency. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply my paste over here. And I'm just spreading it on like I'm buttering toast, okay? And I'm going to do this top line up here. Can you guys see that? I don't think you can. Right here. And I'm going to do trying to get this so you guys can see better. A little bit of black paste right there. And I'm going to do this a 75-cent coin here, price sticker in black. Now, one thing about this paste is it dries pretty quickly. And you don't want it to dry in that silk screen. So now that I've got the black all chalked in, we call this method a peel and peek, peel and reveal. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and lift this transfer up a little bit just to release that paste. And as I look, I'm going to see if I've got a good crisp design. And I pretty much do. I'm going to make sure I see some distressing up here. I want to make sure I have that. So I can put the transfer down right away. It was in the transfer. And examine it. If it's not like I want it, I can go ahead and lay it back down and fix it. It looks good. I wanted to show you guys that it does have some distressing in this transfer. So like when I peel up this part, you can see those words have some distressing. I'm sorry, it's not, it's backwards for you. But that's how Facebook took away that ability for us to flip our cameras. And I'm not sure why. I miss it, but they must have had a reason for it. Okay, so I think I'm done with my black paste. Whenever I'm done, I'm just gonna go ahead and scrape off my squeegee to put anything extra back in the jar. And I'm gonna go ahead and cap it up. Next, I'm gonna do my cherry. And my cherry is gonna go on the words Melon Patch. I wanna make sure it's down all the way. I am a little worried. Oh, I probably wanna do pick your own in black. I am a little worried about bleeding in those shiplap cracks. We will see how this works out. And remember, this is your sign, so you can make it as rustic as you want. If you don't like it, you can try and repair it. It's a little bit harder on this surface than it is like on a chalkboard or something that's really solid, like a melamine tray or a piece of glass or anything that's really solid and smooth. But you can do a little bit of repairs to it. So I've got this Melon Patch done in my cherry. And I might want to use the cherry again. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside. And I'm going to go ahead and get another squeegee and do my black on my pick your own again. Pick your own. Pick your own melon. Have you guys ever gone watermelon picking? I guess it would be the same thing as going to the pumpkin patch and picking your own pumpkins, right? Wouldn't you think? Just a little heavier to carry. And actually, my husband just cut me up a watermelon just minutes ago. We didn't pick it ourselves, though. It was a grocery store. Well, Costco. Okay, so we've got this black done. I'm going to go ahead and take that paste, take it up so I can release that paste. So I'm releasing both the red and the black, and it looks really good. I do see one part of my Melon Patch over here in my tea that I did not get, so I put it back down and I just went ahead and repaired it. Let me check it. Perfect. Okay, so that looks good. Oh, and I wanted to release the black as well. Okay, that looks good. Now here comes a part that you may not know about. I want to watercolor in this watermelon. And so I just kind of want to get a little bit of an imprint that I can see. This dune is very light, but it will help me see if there's a design there. And oh, this is vanilla. Actually, I wonder if I should have used dune. Let me see if I can see this. I can see it. It's very light, but I just want to be able to see where the design is so I can watercolor with my chalk paint, my chalk paste. And then after we watercolor, we're going to get the color in there. Then we're going to go ahead and put this transfer back over the top, and we will chalk it back in to get the details back in black. Okay. So this is kind of like an invisible ink step almost. It's to help us see for this next process, but we're really not going to see it much when we're done. Okay. I'm done with the vanilla. Cap it up. And I'm going to go ahead and peel the whole transfer off. I'll let you guys see what you can see. Can you see that design at all? Not really. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for just a quick second, and we are going to clean this transfer. The transfers, you need to clean them every time you use them, front and back, because they are reusable up to 12 times, and you want to make sure that they don't have any paste stuck in them when you store them. You want them ready to go for next time. So I'm spraying it with just plain old tap water. I'm going to take a paper towel and go over the first layer of this, the first or second time, a couple times, just because the black and the red are very pigmented. And I'm going to use a board eraser to clean it, but I don't want it to be all black and yucky. So the more I get with the paper towel, I can throw that away instead of having to clean it. And hopefully it will reduce my cleanup. Okay, you can see I got quite a bit off, even though on the second pass it's still dirty. I have like a water bath over here, and I have my board eraser in here. This is a board eraser. It's like a magic eraser sponge. This one's probably about at the end. And it is great for cleaning transfers. It gets in there and really cleans up all that paste out of that silk screen. Now this is the front of the transfer. This is the dirtiest part of the transfer. This is where we applied the paste. I'm going to go around in circles, and I'll probably go over it one more time in a second. But you can see how much paste it picked up. I'm going to rinse it out. See if I can get some more out. And I can actually rub pretty hard on this side of the transfer. But I'm not going to want to rub that hard on the reverse side of the transfer, and I'll tell you why. The back side of the transfer is not going to be as dirty because we didn't apply the paste to it. It just went through the silk screen. Now, you can see on my mat here that I have this big impression where the paste went through. I'm going to dry that up, clean it up as best I can, because I'm going to lay down the side that I just cleaned, even though I'm going to clean it again, on there. So I want it to be clean. So now I'm going to do sticky side up. So flip it over, spray it with water. Remember, this side's not as dirty, but it is the sticky side. So be gentle with it. Try to rinse out my board eraser. It still is kind of dirty. And I'm just going to lightly go over it to get that paste off and out of that silk screen. We go a couple different ways. You know how things hide in the edges. My board eraser's falling apart. And then I'm going to go ahead and dry this side up. Now this side should be clean now. When the sticky side is wet, you can slide your paper towel over the top and clean it out. Have you guys ever used a silk screen before? Have you ever cleaned them? They're really pretty easy to clean. The larger they are, the harder they are to clean. But okay, so you can see through the silk screen really good. But I'm going to wipe, whoops, one more time on this side. Making sure I get this all out of there. And that black and that red may stain your silk screen. So if it's staining the teal part of your transfer or your stencil, that's okay. You just want to make sure that you don't have any paste sitting in that silk screen. Okay, the top is dry. I'll lay it sticky side up. I'm gonna go one more time with a paper towel. And I am going to actually I am just going to put it over here right now because I'm going to lay it back on. So normally I would put it on my backer, but I'm going to use it again. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I want to go ahead and dry this just a little bit. I don't want to make any messes. And I can just barely see my design. But this is where the fun part comes in, guys. Have you ever watercolored? So much fun. Okay, so right now I can see that some of the paste did accumulate in this groove here. But I think it's going to be okay. Right in this groove, I think it's going to be okay. Can you guys see that design? Let's see if you can see it. No, not really. Well, it's there. And it's fine for me. So I'm going to go ahead and start watercolor painting. I think I am going to start with the rind. Now, I have shimmer spruce. In your shopping cart, I put in meadow. I don't have meadow. So I'm just going to go ahead and start doing the rind in this shimmer spruce. And I'm just going to kind of paint with my paintbrush inside the lines. And it doesn't have to be, I mean, it does need to be kind of inside the lines. But you are going to go back over this with black. So it will bring that definition back. So I'm just going to do a little quick line here. I'm going to go inside it with a little lighter green. Okay, so now my melon. I'm going to go ahead and do this kind of, I think I'm going to do greens and maybe some lighter greens. You can water down your chalk paste if you'd like. I'm just using it the way it came. But if it were a thicker consistency, I could definitely water it down. So many different techniques that you can use with this. So this green is a little dark. So this is one of our darker melons. I am going to add some lighter color to it. We'll just play and we'll see how it turns out. Let's see, what is this part right here? It's part of the rind, I think. I'm getting a little warm. Let's turn on the fan. You could also use a sponge to paint this. You could use a foam brush. You can use a paper towel, whatever you feel like it. Might do a little bit of green all over in here, just kind of make it streaky. Like I said, I've been very excited to do this one. I really wanted to paint a background on it, like it's laying in a field, but I think part of the beauty of this board is the white background. And so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I've got most of this painted kind of green, kind of stripy. And then I'm going to go back in, well, let's see what this is. This is my pesto. Try a little pesto for variation. I don't know if I put this in the cart or not. Some pesto in here. for maybe some of these stripes. And I would like to add some yellow. You know how they always say to look for a watermelon that has a yellow belly? Have you ever heard that? How do you guys tell if a watermelon's ripe? Do you do the thumb test? Do you close your eyes and pick? Do you send someone else to pick? How do you tell if a watermelon's ripe? Answer in the comments, and we'll see if anybody else does it the same way you do. Okay, I think that's good for my pesto. I do have a little bit of eucalyptus here, and I also want to do some yellow. Just a little bit of eucalyptus. Let me see if I have a very pale yellow. Here is daffodil. Let's see how daffodil is. Daffodil looks pretty good. It's a little thick. Just gonna take some in the lid, water it down just a little bit. It's kind of thick. So I'm just mixing it up with some distilled water. I just wanted to add some yellow to it a little bit. Now, I don't know if this is yellow enough, but I think it does lighten it up. Actually, quite a bit. I like it. Okay, and then for the stem, I do want to do that in either nominee or brown of some kind. Okay, a nominee or a brown. I have camel here. Just going to paint it with camel. Dune would be another color. Now this does have like a yellow flower on the end. And it also has a leaf on the end. So I'm going to do the leaf in the green. And once again, this is forest, shimmer spruce. But if you have meadow, that's great. I just didn't have meadow. So I'm using what I have. There's a little thing there. And I kind of wanted to do this flower just a little yellow. And I think I want to do it a brighter yellow. So now I have sunny side. I'll get another paintbrush. Use my sunny side. Once again, I'm not doing this in individual pieces. I am just doing it as a whole because I am going to put the black back on. Okay, so I'm done with my watermelon. Now the fun part, the red melon. Okay, new brushes. So I have got some candy apple red, and I think I'm gonna go ahead. This is cherry, I'm sorry. I've got cherry, and I'm gonna make it kind of darker, a deeper red at the base. So this is cherry. And then I've got candy apple here, which is a little different variation. So I'm gonna brighten it up just a little bit. And then I am going to get a pinky color. I have sage. Let's see what color. This is strawberry swirl or strawberry melon. I think I'm going to use the strawberry melon. And I'm just going to kind of blend that into, you know how you get lighter colors throughout your watermelon piece, your slice? Now, since this is a shimmer, it kind of is more opaque. So I might want to bring it down and just blend it all the way through here. And maybe I do want a little more of the cherry. Let's just get some of this cherry off of here. And I'm just going to kind of swirl it. Okay, so I'll show you what I have. Cap up all my pastes, just put them all in here. I'll organize later, guys. I will organize later. These are dirty, that's dirty. These are ready. Okay, and then I do want to clean up just a little bit. And this looks really thick. Okay, so let me go ahead and clean this. I'm gonna move this aside for just a second, and we're gonna dry it in just a second. But I've got so many different pieces of crumbs here and everything. I'm gonna use my Dawn Power Wash to clean this mat. This silicone mat I really love to use because it wipes it clean. It's non-stick. Sometimes I'll put my paint right on it and I can clean it up. Sometimes I'll put water on it and I can clean it up. And then sometimes I just like to kind of take some of that power wash detergent off and give it a wipe. Okay, so a lot of my crummies are done. A lot of my stains are off. Do you guys have a silicone mat? Have you done it, or do you just craft on your tablecloths? Do you have a glass mat? What do you guys put down to protect your table? Let me know in the comments. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and dry this with my quick dry tool. This doesn't get real hot, but it does dry. Now my black should be done. Like I said, my green over here was a little thicker. Just gonna wipe some off. My red is the last thing I did. And I do want to make sure that this is done and dry before I put the transfer back on. Do you guys love watermelon like I do? Here's a question for you. When you eat watermelon, do you eat it as a slice or do you cut it into pieces? How do you eat your watermelon? I know for kids it was always fun to have a whole slice, like a triangle watermelon. I usually have it cut up into pieces, but I know it's fun the other way. It's pretty much dry. Right on the MacBook. I want to wipe my hands off a little bit. Okay, so now we are going to put the transfer back down over this. I might want to take a little sanding block. Since we just kind of painted, it's not as smooth as it would be if we were just using the transfer. So I'm going to use a sanding block just to kind of help it smooth it out a little bit. Just a very light touch. And then I'm going to wipe it over to get rid of the sanding dust. And then I'm going to get out my surface wax. Now this surface wax is to protect, remember I talked about the transfer can pull up paint, layers of paint that are down below, or it can stretch your transfer. I am going to apply a thin layer of this surface wax with a paper towel because it will protect that paste from coming up. And since I'm only going to be going over mainly the melon, I really don't have to do all this other stuff, but I just think it kind of adds to the sheen. So make sure that's done. A thin layer on, thin layer off, and you're done with the surface wax. I just realized I need my black paste. Here it is. Okay, so these transfers, you've noticed that they're see-through, right? Makes it perfect for lining these up. So since this one has these words at the top, I think that's the easiest way to line it up. I'm not really going to chalk over the patch or anything else, but I am going to chalk over my melon. So by lining up the words at the top and the bottom, I'm hoping that that will line up pretty good. Yes, okay. Once again, smooth it down. Now you can see my color through it. And can you see, like here, it's not completely colored in, but wherever there is silkscreen, wherever it's white, is where that black layer of paste is going to go through. So I think it will highlight it beautifully. I've got my squeegee. Remember, I'm just doing this melon and its stem. I've got my black paste. This is too much, but we'll go for it. I am just going to go over all this melon part to bring back all the details of this watermelon. When I watercolored it, it kind of, it wasn't defined. It was kind of like color, but you couldn't tell as easily what it was. Would you guys agree with that? So I'm going to smooth out my paste, and by scraping it again, you are smoothing out any lines, kind of like paintbrush lines, but you are also thinning out the layer of paste, making it more even. I scraped paste off, and it will make it dry faster, okay? So now I'm done with that. I'm going to go ahead and peel it down. And let's see what we have. Are you guys ready? Look, we already knew about that. Look at our melon. Isn't that outstanding? Oh my gosh, guys. Now, I'm not sure if I painted the brown where it shouldn't have been, but I could either take it off or leave it. What do you guys think about that? I think this is a showstopper, guys. I hope you love it. Pretty easy, right? Even with the watercoloring and relaying down the transfer, pretty easy to make an amazing. Look at the watercolor in the melon. Look at the variations. I think it's stunning. I hope you guys love it. Please give it a heart. Share it with those you love and those who love crafting. Go ahead and like my page. Hit the type in the word melon for the shopping cart link, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.